Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's having a beautiful day so far. I know Jake sure is. Geez, trees, birds, happiness.
I'm so jealous.
You should be. I am. Or you can look. Here's my nature right here. You see that poor? I need to water it. It looks so sad right now. You see how sad it?
Oh no!
Welcome to the coffee table talks, guys. Look at this. I did this too. Oh, what? Oh, it's like we're professionals. Did that and I planned that all week. No, you guys know better. It was 10 minutes ago.
That's awesome. The background is awesome, Rachel.
I know.
Rocks. Good job.
Don't try and adjust your displays. You have found us. Good job. I know the fancy background graphics might have you convinced that you've landed in some land of super well done production value live stream. But no, here we are.
Borg caffeine, man. Borg.
Perfect. It was a lot of fun. We have the honor of hanging out with Jake from Not State Farm. So Jake, you want to talk to us a little bit about where you actually are from? Because I'm excited about all the stuff we're working on together.
Yeah, Rachel, thanks for having me. I mean, first off, our partnership is headed off in a great start. So certainly excited for all the things you guys are up to and doing. So hey, really appreciate you having me on. I'm up here in Maine. So we're up in Kennebunkport, Maine, hanging out outside, mostly because I'm covered in kids and trying to hide from them. So thanks for bringing us on. And I'm coming out of Immersive Labs. So I run our global channel program here at Immersive.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming to hang out. So we're working on something right now with you guys, which is super fun, for Innocent Lives Foundation, which is why I wore my, oh wait, wrong side. Oh look, mirrored. Whoop! Which is why I wore my Innocent Lives shirt today. Like, shirts are so comfy, by the way. If you guys haven't gone and bought one yet, go get one, just because they're that super soft t-shirt material that, you know what I mean, that you covet whenever you go to any sort of conference and you're like, who's got the nice soft t-shirts? It's the Innocent Lives Foundation. You guys have done this kind of thing before to benefit other nonprofits and some amazing charities. And I saw that, I think the last one you guys did was like Wounded Warrior or something in a CTF, benefit style fashion. And it's not like traditional CTFs either. It's more of a skills challenge kind of thing is what I'm assuming. Will, have you done a lot of CTFs? I have not. And this is my first one helping to put one out there. So
one or two, but mainly helping students.
Yeah. I mean, this thing is cool. It's got there's 7 or 8 objectives in it, and they're all got really fun, badass sounding names. And there's 5 or 6 different ways you can go through that. I'm going to let Jake talk about it. He probably knows a little bit more about it than I do.
And sadly, Rachel, I didn't come up with those names. They are great. I think one great. Of them, Farmer Drama Llama. There's some really good ones on there that get pretty fun and engaging. The capture the flag style, and the reason we kind of steered away from CTF is, we don't have anybody going in hacking a Tesla in a couple hours or do anything like that. Really, we want folks to start to just engage on our platform as they normally would and use us, but have it be in more of a team style. And as an organization, we love giving back, right? So we do a lot of work with students. We do a lot of work with neurodivergent. We do some work with women in tech, right? We always want to make sure that we're giving back to the community and really helping drive some of those skills and developments. And the Immersive Labs platform is, it kind of becomes a little bit addicting once you actually get on there, get up and do some of the lab work, and really becomes pretty enjoyable. So this was a nice way for us to go out, let people know who we were, what we're doing, and really start to give back to the community a little bit.
Which is awesome. I mean, you do see companies doing that kind of stuff, but I don't know. I always feel like I'm an outsider looking in going, yay, go you guys over there. This was so much fun just to put together and hang out with KJ, who's behind the scenes. You guys can't see him. I'm sorry. He's grayed out, like just hanging out in the background. But it's really awesome. And it was, it's going well. Like there's already like 32 or 33 people signed up right now. I'm so stoked. So I hope everybody joins in the fun. Where did I put the link? Hey, there it is. Look at that. Bam, right there. And then you can always DM me or Will or even reach out to Jake. And I think you're on LinkedIn, aren't you, Jake?
Oh, yeah. Big LinkedIn guy. Yeah, and what a great cause. So for us, I think this allowed us to get into something a little bit more exciting. I have 3 kids, right? I think protection of their innocence is my my number one priority as a parent. And so for us to be able to give back to something, I'll have to go on afterwards and get one of those T-shirts if you send me the link, Rachel.
I will.
Suck a comfy T-shirt.
Yeah. Oh, it's like so nice too. It's like, I don't know, whatever. Shane was talking about T-shirts this morning. I was talking to him, the COO for ILF. We're putting together an event in Miami, and I needed his help with some planning type stuff. And we were talking about bringing T-shirts, and I was like, yes, we should do that. We should definitely bring T-shirts for everybody that comes to the event. It's going to be so fun. So it's pretty exciting. Message me on LinkedIn, Nathan Greenspan. I will, Nathan. I see you. What's that? You got it. No worries. Oh, look, it showed up as LinkedIn user with Restream. Thanks, Restream. Fantastic. I think you guys have to go follow the SecureNation page for your names to show up in that stream, the thing that's spanning down the side. You gotta, yeah. Wait, let me put that up there. There you go. Do that. And I think your name suddenly appears. I think that's the magic that happens. Like John Montgomery. John, tell us if you follow, okay? And that might be the secret sauce that's involved here that we need to have happen. So, Jake, how did you get started over at Immersive Labs? Like, what's a little bit of your background with some of your journey into cybersecurity and?
I was in 10 years of application security. So 2 different major products, going from a time where folks would laugh at you when you brought up AppSec as like, it's not a strong security play. Like we don't really need that, to a point now where code runs the world. Right. So really exciting journey on that front. My CRO approached me about a year ago and said, hey, I need you to come in. I want you to go build a global channel, do it your way. I got pretty excited as I'm very passionate about my partner relationships, and we got off to the races. So, as soon as I saw the product in action, I kind of had some hesitancy. I'm like, well, do I want to do e-learning? Is that what this is? And as soon as I saw the actual platform, I was like, it's so much more than that, right? It's definitely a different way to go about doing what's traditionally not worked in the past, right? You don't go through and watch those videos for 4 hours and at 5x speed and click through a couple multiple choice and cheat the system, right? You're actually doing really hands-on engaging lab work through virtual machines. So I got immediately hooked and sold on the platform and product. And as it turns out, so did our customers and partners. So we've had a really, really interesting last year since I've joined, where we've gotten some funding, we've gotten some really marquee customers and lands, and we've gone and helped some folks build out some really cool security programs through the Immersive Labs platform. We're helping build out tabletop exercises and practicing against some of the ransomware and the challenges that organizations are seeing as they come in. And then we're helping build those skills across teams and being able to evidence what they're actually learning. So this is all kind of stuff that wasn't really happening behind the scenes. A lot of this was, little, maybe a point in time, right? We send some folks off to a conference in Vegas and we hope that they learn some things. Now you're actually able to see on a dashboard and know, hey, my team, I can go in a MITRE ATT&CK dashboard and see that my team is really going through and doing all the work so that we're aligned back into MITRE. We have, all the verticals covered, and they're starting to really increase their capabilities through the Immersive Labs platform.
How closely do you guys model some of the attack simulations and some of the labs and those things after real life events and breaches?
insanely close and insanely quickly after those breaches, right? So if you think about something like Colonial Pipeline or JBS or SolarWinds, any of those breaches that have recently happened, will typically within inside of 72 hours have virtual machines spun up with all that malware in it, so you don't have to bring it into your internal systems, and be able to get red team, blue teams playing with those vulnerabilities, seeing how the attacks unfold, getting prepped to actually combat them, and then having practice scenarios so they can get their senior leadership and instant responders engaged and going on them.
Did you say 72 hours?
Yeah, 72 is usually the time frame. We've had WannaCry was 24. We actually helped NHS.
Oh.
But I don't want. I want to make sure we give ourselves a nice little buffer there.
like, 24 hours is, no. Okay. So if you guys have that capability, right. And I get it, right. Because if it's a real live breach, like everybody wants to go play with that situation and that scenario, and that makes sense. Can organizations, maybe it depends on their size, I don't know, ask for something custom, or do you guys pretty much cover everything?
So depending on the customer, like we've done some, like our application security content was all basically custom for a customer, right? And now it's a product line. Typically what we do is we've got so much content out of the box that we'll usually stick to that content. Now there's certain cases where we'll definitely build some custom stuff. From the crisis simulations, those tabletop exercises are 100% customizable, right? Like we get for organizations, like you want to build your own stuff in your own situation, have it be attached to your incident response plan, so you can go build strategy against it. But for the most part, everything else for the lab work itself is pretty much ready to go out of the box.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's why I was asking. Custom versus is it already? You guys already covered it. It's like.
Well, this is where I get pretty excited, right? Because it's working in that model of getting out of just theory and getting to actual practice and making things happen. So from your observations, what are the things that have worked best in those scenarios, in those alignments, to really make effective change in the groups? I mean, how do those folks in those groups, if they were to come in, kind of brand new to some of this, how does that really engage them, pick them up, and get them thinking differently along those lines?
Yeah, that's great. Well, I mean, good question there. We've got kind of three ways to go about doing the lab work itself, right? One is ad hoc. Hey, I just want to go on. I'm going to start to mess around, and maybe I'll just uncover some areas. And then the way that, and kind of alluding to your question, is the real way that we go find some of that evidence and capabilities is through objectives and the MITRE attack framework, right? So we're directly aligned to MITRE, and then through objectives, we can actually build it down into the role base itself. So we are directly back aligned to the NIST-NICE framework, so the standardization of job roles and functions. And we're going through each and one of those individual roles and mapping the KPIs right back to the job roles, right? So you're able to kind of go through and build a story of, hey, maybe I'm a day one penetration tester and I want to go from a beginner side, or maybe I'm a 20-year veteran and I want to really make sure that I'm catching up on all the stuff that I haven't been using recently, or maybe I just want to upskill into other areas. So it does give you that kind of ability to evidence all your skill set and capability right through the platform.
So tell me a little bit, though, about the dynamic of the folks doing it and kind of the experience that they walk through. I mean, it's got to be exciting, right? It's got to be a whole lot of fun.
It's great, and it's a blast. I think the interesting thing is, as you go on with the customers, right, you start to see that early journey of, hey, we've done a couple things, and then all of a sudden you come back a month later and you've got folks that are massively competing against each other on the leaderboard. They're vying for the number one spot. A lot of organizations we work with will further gamify. So they're really pushing towards getting everybody active and engaged. But as soon as that gamification comes in, man, they're off to the races, right? So that's where it gets, to the point of like, hey, there's an iPad on the line, or there's a day off, or whatever it is. It becomes kind of nominal because they want that number one. They want that number one spot on the leaderboard.
Yeah, and that's what makes it do, because that's what we get with students, right? You have to break the traditional mode of sit down and listen to, no, come on in, the water's fine, right?
Well, that's where the challenges come in. I mean, I have no technical capabilities. So I'll be the first to admit that, right? I'm a sales guy. And I went on the platform and I started to go through the junior penetration tester labs, right? And I was like, look, I'm going to go do it. I'm going to challenge myself, and I'm going to pull up a couple of virtual machines. I'm going to pull up a Kali Linux box, and I'm going to go through and actually try to figure it out. And while it should take somebody with that kind of skill set 20 to 30 minutes, it took me about 2 to 3 hours. But once I completed it, the sense of pride was there, and I had a blast doing it. So, I think it allows folks to start to maybe get into areas where they just aren't familiar, but ultimately test them, get them to have a little pride in their work, and continue to come back for more.
I love that. It's like positive reinforcement. Good job, you. It's so great. And I mean, there's so many folks out there that are like, really what you need to invest in is your people. And this is such a great way to invest in your people and in your team and give them something that, makes them feel like you care about their brain cells and how fast they function.
What I mean? CPE credits too, so you get continuing education credits. So while you're going through, and that's also inclusive of the CTF that we're rolling out, or the skills challenge.
Yes,
as an extra bonus round.
Nice, I like it. That's amazing. You guys got to go check it out. I put the link right here. If you would rather, you just don't feel like writing all that down, that's okay. You can just ping me on LinkedIn, and I'll copy pasta right into the bottom, as my friend Molly says. It's just, it looks cool. I can't participate. I think it's somewhere in the rules. Josh was not going to be able to, he's not eligible for fabulous prizes, is what he was a little sad, but he was like, no, I still want to go through it anyway. And I'm neither confirming nor denying that he may have access to this platform as a client type person. But that might be something KJ helped us with a little bit. Just because he's amazing. There was a few little, please help kind of things, but he's pretty excited to join onto the platform. I know the rest of his team is too. So if you guys want to go ping him for, real feedback on what it's like, or kind of what they've got included in there. Again, neither confirming nor denying. He may or may not be able to answer your questions. Do you like how I did that? That was smooth, right? Super smooth. I'm very proud of myself right there. Definitely want to let anybody that has any questions right here, we're just going to gab on for the next probably 20 minutes. But if anybody has any questions about the platform or anything else, you guys just throw them in there. You know how this works. I know I've got a few new people here to our audience, which is pretty cool. And I think there's 20 people that suddenly were like, yes, we're going to the live coffee table talk thing this morning. And I was like, whoa.
So I got a question. So you've been doing this for a while, right? And been watching this. Your observation, so you're in a unique position to where you're seeing some of this play out across the nation, right? And you're watching large elements of this nation trying to get prepared for cybersecurity, trying to be able to stem the flow of data heading out, trying to deal with what is coming from our adversaries. In your perspective, what are some of the most positive ways of approaching this that you're seeing for a solution? I mean, how are you seeing the state of things, and what do you recommend for change?
Yeah, I mean, I think I got probably be a little careful there too, just in what we see, right? But I mean, we're working with some really, really large enterprise organizations, and typically when we walk in, a lot of them aren't doing anything at this point around either application security training or doing any real development of their cybersecurity professionals. Hiring is another big area where we see a lot of major gaps, right? Which is the reason why we rolled out our screening product. I think we see a lot of cert-based approach on things, and while we don't want to drift too far away from that, and we'll continue to tie to it, I think that one of the big areas that we see is if cert's all theoretical, right? How do you start to get that actual skill development up and running, right? I mean, I think it's a huge challenge. And certs are important. We get that, but we also got to make sure that we've got those actual skill capabilities behind the scenes, right, to go along with them.
Well, the certs are the metrics, right? They're, from my point of view, they're kind of a desperation in the industry to say, hey, can you do whatever? But now you're starting to get into a realm of actually doing, actually performing. Do you have elements and ways that you're working to quantify that, to help provide that metric for folks that say, yeah, these folks can do it?
It's through evidencing, right? I mean, look at it this way: when we launched screening, we actually had a very large banking customer come to us and say, "Hey, we interview 3,000 candidates a year. Our major problem is we go to the ones that have the certifications, and then we get a little nervous right once we bring them on board because we realize that hey, we might have made a mistake here. They don't have that hands-on development that we really need. They're not able to do the job." So I think that evidence comes into play really, really nicely when all of a sudden you've got that person that comes in with the cert. They go through a bit of immersive labs to make sure that the capability is there, and then you're able to evidence that. Now, through tracking in the platform, you're also able to consistently evidence all of the folks on your team to make sure that, yeah, they've got the skills. They know exactly what they're doing. I can show you, here's a report I can show up to the board. Here's a report that I can show up to, whoever needs to see it. But ultimately, we've got an entire group of folks throughout our SOC team, throughout any of our analysts, our application security developers that are now able to come back in and say, hey, look, we're practicing what we preach. We're teaching our folks regularly. They're all up engaged on the platform. So I think there's a nice component to that.
We had a question from Kimberly through LinkedIn, right? So she showed up as LinkedIn user. With all the talk online about TMs needing to be up to speed as a new hire and lacking the training systems and or time to train new hires, this seems like a really valuable and timely solution. Is this for individuals or companies only?
It's for companies only. We do have a freemium edition that has some really good content on there. And Rachel will make sure you get the link so you can blast out to everybody afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
So there's usually about a rotating 40 to 50 labs up on that platform. And it's not just, it's not just like level one. There's a lot of, a healthy mix of level 1 to ninja level labs where, you can get in, get hands-on. Usually there's something on there that's pertinent to the time. So like we just launched a bunch of labs on Colonial Pipeline a while back, last month. So typically you'll have some of those that are on there as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, and that's kind of what the skills challenge for the ILF benefit CTF thing that we're doing together is. I noticed that it was diversified for different skill levels and skill sets and stuff like that, which I really liked. I thought that was very comprehensive and wonderful. It was a wonderful way that people were like, well, I'm new at this and I don't know if I'd be good. Is there some other way I can contribute? And I'm like, I mean, yes, there is some other way that you can contribute. Go to innocentlivesfoundation.org, but you might actually really enjoy this even if you're new to it. Like it could be exactly what you were looking for. So I always tell anybody that's a little nervous about trying it out, they feel like maybe they're not going to be savvy or amazing at it. I'm like, no, this stuff like walks you through. Like it's good. It's a little it's definitely a good platform for you to try out. You're new or like expert level ninja, hanging out in the dark web on Saturday, whatever.
I'm not a dark web guy at all, Rachel. But to your point, though, we're very crawl, walk, run, right? So the early stage labs, they'll give you a lot of information. They'll get you to external links. They'll start to help you build that muscle memory of this is where I need to go when I have this problem, right? So it's all about self-learning. And then as you start to get into those challenge-based labs, right, the run labs, 7, 8, and 9, they are for practitioners, right? They're really challenging. But, we are massively inclusive in those earlier stage labs. They're the ones that are gonna, they're gonna start to build that muscle memory, right? Like they're gonna help you carry through. And as I was telling you guys before, I mean, for a guy like me who's not tech-based at all, right? I can go through and do some of those early-based ones. It might take me a little more time, but they tell a good story.
Yeah, well, the advantage of this stuff too is, I mean, you talk about muscle-based, but the cool aspect of any of these types of labs and creations and directions in cyber is to change the thinking, get out of the box. Don't go with the norm, don't go with the standard, but try different approaches, different angles. And That's awesome, because it's so much needed. I mean, certs and things like that tend to follow this path, and we got to break that.
Yeah. One of the things I love, we got a whole bunch of tools, right? So like most of them are open source though. So, you get kind of that initial taste, or like, look, we talked about being a penetration tester, right? We've got a whole series of labs in there on Burp Suite. If you're a penetration tester, you'd be using Burp on almost a daily basis, hourly basis, right? So like understanding how to use that in a situation is where we position it, right? It's not how to use the tool, it's how to use the tool in practice. And so for something that's, $300-ish a year as a license, like now you've got the ability to go through, start to learn where you're going to use that. And we've got tools available across the entire platform, all pretty much open source based, where if you're in a time of breach, you know exactly where to go, and you can get a tool that's essentially free and not have to go through a procurement process while you're down and out.
That's awesome. Yay. I'm really excited. Oh, and look, KJ was kind enough. There's a link for the thing for the individuals, free, rotating 40 to 50 labs, right? Is that what you said, 40 to 50?
Yeah.
Okay,
it's updated pretty regularly, so that should get access to some of those good labs.
Awesome. That's very cool. Well, you know what, Jake? I'm so glad that you came to hang out on your vacation.
Thanks for having me. This is a blast.
Yeah, thank you for coming in for a little minute, and we're gonna let you get back to relaxing for a bit. So when are you guys headed back? Are you out for a little bit longer, the weekend?
Yeah, we're out till mid next week, so hopefully we'll get some sun here in the next couple of days. It's a little overcast and cloudy and rainy today, but good downtime nonetheless. So I really appreciate you guys having me on. This is a lot of fun. Look forward to hopefully doing it again sometime soon. And thanks for letting us be such a part of such an awesome cause with ILF. And I'm going to go back out and get my t-shirt today. So thank you.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah. I got to send you that link for comfy t-shirt. Will, did you have any closing kind of statements you'd like to make?
Well, yeah. If I went really fast, could I get like a hammock right in between those two trees right on the shoulder back there? That would be.
There's about 100 acres of forest. You can pick a tree back there. It's all yours.
Oh my God.
The beach is that way.
Wow.
Well, I appreciate what you're doing. I mean, coming from an educational perspective, coming from having to break out of the molds, coming from, we've got to make a change in this world, so I appreciate folks that are coming in with vision that we need to make this better. That's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you guys. A lot of fun. Have a good one.
We'll see you guys next week, I think. Are we doing this next week? We are. We're doing this next week. I don't even know. Thank you so much, Jake. We're going to let you get back to vacay, and Will and I will wrap. Yeah,
happy 4th.
So let me look here while we let Jake get back to vacation. Isn't he fun? He's so nice. Where is it? I don't even know. We're still live, so don't tap on the glass or anything. That's awful, huh? Yeah, I looked at the platform whenever I first kind of met KJ, by the way. He's my local guy, like he's my buddy, my pal.
Uh-huh.
And I was so interested in how it worked, right? Because you know me, I'm like a sponge for let's learn more, please. Shove it all in my brain. It'll only take another cup or 4 of coffee, but let's go. It's fine. Totally fine.
You know it. It's like 2 a.m. and you're.
Sometimes, I mean, does anybody else ever get that feeling where you're like, is that the sun? The sun coming up over there? And you're like, oh no, I messed up. I messed up so bad, right?
Yeah, well, we're out here in the desert, right? We don't do daylight savings time. That's not something we really want to save here in the desert.
No, it is not. Looks like next week. Oh, we're gonna have on the guys from Tynes.io. Oh, you guys, these people. Ooh, I think one of them is gonna have an Irish accent. I'm really excited.
Oh, that should be fantastic.
Because I've been watching these folks for like probably a little bit of healthy stalking for like 15 months. And they're doing some cool stuff. So we're going to get to talk to them next week. And I will put that up over the weekend, and then you guys can come and, click the 10 button and add it to your calendars and stuff like that. So fun, good times. And then what is happening the next day? Oh my gosh, the ILF Fest. Mandy is probably freaking out. She's got, Mandy, countdown. You got like 9 days. You got 9 days. So the ILF Fest is happening Saturday, July the 10th. If you want to find out more information, I have this handy dandy preloaded thing that you can go follow, or you can go to innocentlivesfoundation.org and go check out the event there. There's a drop down across the top and it says ILF Fest, very handy, and go there. There's going to be all kinds of fun people. Like Dave Kennedy is coming as a special guest. If you guys aren't familiar with who Dave Kennedy is, he's the CEO of Trusted Sec and Binary Defense, as well as, it's so weird to me that I can chat with Dave, like, and they have like a Discord or a Slack. I think it's a Discord. Pretty sure it's a Discord. And then I'll walk by like HLN when there's been like a huge breach, or CNN, and Dave's on TV, and I'm like, hey, I know that guy. Well, look at you. And then I'm like, oh, well, I won't be able to talk to Dave for the next 2 months. He's going to be wildly popular. But anyway, he's going to be there. Of course, Chris Hadnaggy from Social Engineer, aka the Human Hacker, right? He does the Human Hacking Conference. He's also going to be at the event in Miami in August. So excited. So yeah, you guys have a great weekend and a happy 4th of July. Will and I always love you and appreciate you so much. If you have any questions or just, I don't know, we like pats on the back too. You can tell us we're doing a good
job. We have fun. I'm tripping out over the backgrounds and stuff that you're doing there. Those are fun.
Yes. Look.
It's just kind of washed. This one is like, yeah, caffeine.
It's so empowered. Wait, I don't mean to be mean and slide the chat over, but look, see, I did it like that. I forgot to think about the chat. I'm going to have to reorganize this a little bit. I did not take graphic design ever. Okay. You see my decorating scheme, right? Like I got a Pokemon family portrait up on the wall that Josh was like, you want to do this? I was like, do I? Yes, I do. Yes, of course I do. Yes, I have a Viking buckler on my wall. Who's asking silly questions?
Stop. Right? Why not?
And that is my dog, Thor. Anyway.
It could be a Targ, but, that's all right.
Could be. So we will see you all next week. You guys have a great holiday. I hope you guys got an extra day off. If you didn't, that's okay. I didn't either. I did, but I'm not going to take it. This is how it works. And we will see you guys next time. Love you so much.
Take it easy.